Lesson 92, percent of change. Now this is another type of ratio box that you can use. It's basically when you are changing an amount by a percent. For instance, you go to the store and you want to buy something and it's a percent off. Have you ever seen those signs, 25% off all summer clothes or something like that? That's what you would use this percent of change box for. In this one, the original percent is always 100%. So if you think about it, if you wanted to buy a clothing item, the original price would be 100%. Then if you took off 25%, you would subtract that, and then you'd have 75% of the original would be what you would pay. So the way it looks is we have a percent and an actual count. Then on the left, we have our original amount, which we said the original percent would always be 100. Then we have the change. Now you can increase or decrease. So we put a little plus minus sign here because you may be increasing the price. You know how stores get their inventory, they buy it and they raise the price up so that they can make money off of you. That would be an increase. Or if they are trying to sell it, they'll decrease, and so you would subtract the change. And then you have the new price. So here's an example. Now we just have a few examples. So if Logan's population, that's our city Logan we're talking about, not a person Logan. So if Logan's population increased 15% from 1980 to 1990, and the 1980 population was 120,000. What's the population in 1990? Or what was the population in 1990? If you notice that they're giving you some information that you don't have to use in the problem, which is basically the years. We don't have to use the years. We're just talking about the population and the percent. So if we do our percent box, percent actual count, original, change, and new. So we have to decide if our change is adding or subtracting. This is the key word right here, increased. That means it's going up. So we're going to be adding our change. The original percent is always 100. It is increasing by 15, so we're going to add. So we have 115% will be the new. The original population would be what was in the first year, 1980. So it's 120,000. And we want to know what's the new population in 1990. So then we can write our proportion. We don't have to use this middle box at all. Yes, Guy?
Like in our power up, it's like you take 10% of the original and then find half of that and then add that together, and that's 15%.
And that gives you 15%. Yeah, so you'd have the 10%, add the 5, and you get 15. So then we can solve. If we cross multiply, then divide by 100. So I would just write down what I'm going to multiply, then divide. So instead of doing the multiplying, I'm going to write it this way. That way I can do some canceling before I multiply. And I do 115 times 1,200. Now on this one, I know at the very end I'm going to want to drop my zeros down. So I'm going to put those 2 zeros here. And then I'm just going to do 12 times 115. So 2 times 5 is 10. 2 plus 1 is 3. 2, put my placeholder. and then do 1 times 115, add them together, and I have 138,000 is the new population in 1990. Here's another example. The dress was on sale for 40% off the original price. If the original price was $45, wait a minute, what was the sale price? There we go. If the original price was $45, what was the sale price? So we can do our percent and actual count, original, change, new. So because it's 40% off, we're going to have a decrease in the percent, so our change will be minus. So we take 100% minus the 40%, and we're left with 60%. The original price was $45, so we want to find the new price. So we're going to put 100 over 60 equals 45 over x. We can do 45 times 60 and divide by 100. Then I like to cancel 0. Here we can do 10 and 45, so we can divide by 5. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. 45 divided by 5 is 9. Then I can cancel the 2 and the 6. Sweet. 2 goes to 1, 6 goes to 3. 9 times 3 is $27. I don't have room to write it here, so I'm going to write it over here. And that's the sale price, $27. That's the end of the lesson.